Liverpool versus everybody. Been a few days. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, Hopefully, the majority of us at least have gotten the number 10 or post number 10 out of your system and ready to just to go forward with the squad that we have and maybe even any new players that we bring in, assuming in the next few days. If the talks about bringing Keita in early, maybe signing Lamar on a pre-contract, getting him in the summer are true. Um, but either way, hopefully we're all collectively, at least the majority of us. Of course, there's still going to be some that are going to be talking on Twitter and whining and crying and ready to have their their say if in fact we don't get a satisfactory result against City Sunday to say, oh, it's because of Coutinho, and if we had him, he would have been able to do this, that, and the third. I'm happy about the team we have, and I'm looking forward to us moving forward without players that clearly are desperate not to be there. Speaking of that, real quick before I get into the pre-match thoughts and stuff like that, one thing I noticed in the game against Everton, which seems like forever ago, especially with this number 10 situation, and everywhere you go, seeing that Emery Chan got some stick from the fans late there in the game. He's on the sideline and he somehow loses the ball, and everybody knows Emery's my favorite player, but even at that moment I was a bit irritated only because we were leaving it late anyway to get back in that game, and a costly mistake like that could be paramount at the end of the day. When you really think twice about it, though, it's not that big a deal. Players lose balls, and the crowd moans and complains and all that. But for the fans to actually be nasty towards a player who's giving his all, and again, I'm a big Emery Chan fan, and I can admit here that he hasn't had a fantastic season. He's had some moments there where, even I get very, very frustrated with him, whether it's him taking too much time on the ball, being too slow to move the ball, whatever the case may be. But that's still my man, Emery, and it's disgusting to me that people would really be giving him stick like that for something that would never happen to Coutinho, right? That would have never happened to Coutinho. It would never happen to Henderson, and there's that extra added situation of, him wanting to be out, but he doesn't play like that. I go back to Balotelli and the penalty kick he had a couple seasons ago, where he kind of mugs off Henderson and Sturridge to take the penalty. And after he scores it, Emery's the first guy there to congratulate him and to say to the other players, come on, we just scored a penalty. Why are we still upset that Balotelli took this? And at that moment, I saw what people talk about or have talked about Emery and being a captain. Galvanizing people together, being a leader by example. You see Mane scoring that goal against Burnley. He's the first guy there celebrating. So for me, that and just his 100% giving of all that he can in a game, to me, doesn't seem like a player that wants to leave. And no one really knows what the big story is about him wanting to leave and the money and the lack thereof, or whatever the case may be. At this time, he's playing his behind off, in my opinion. And I mean, just not necessarily being great, a 10 every game, but as far as just his passion and giving his 100% determination every game, um, to me means a lot more. So hopefully, moving on to the game, hopefully we can count on Anfield being a fortress and being that 12th man that we need in a big game like this. We all know it's a tough one. City had a game in midweek against Bristol that may play into part of their fatigue or fitness or what have you. For me, the biggest talking point is the fact that they don't have the two strikers this time. They won't have Gabriel Jesus. They'll just have Aguero, who's a handful in himself and seems to always score against us. Maybe not necessarily at Anfield, but he definitely scores in the away games that we play them. I've looked over a bit of the game that we lost 5-1 or 5-0 to them, and up until the unfortunate red card, and then just seeing how some of those goals went in. And for me, I don't want to see Klopman playing in center back. I'm not blaming him for that loss or anything like that. There were some moments there where he can be got at and just on foot for pace. He's not sticking with Aguero or Gabriel Jesus, in my opinion. So to me, it should be the same center back tandem that we had against Everton, and that's Matip and of course Virgil van Dijk. So we know about their pace and we know how they can attack us. De Bruyne is, for me, it's a midfield battle, and that's with a lot of games, but especially in this game, Fernandinho to me was their man of the match. He didn't score any goals, but he facilitated two, if I'm not mistaken, through balls, and was very physical. There were a couple moments there The first goal, I believe, he goes up for a header with Genie, and Genie's really soft on it. He pushes Genie out the way, gets the header, wins the header, kicks it over to De Bruyne, and then they're off the break, and De Bruyne to Aguero, and the rest is history. So we got to be big, man. We got to be big and physical and tough in that midfield and make them work for everything they get. The second balls, the aerial duels. We got to really, really, really beat them at every point and keep the ball. You know, they thrive off of keeping the ball. So if we take that out of their game, then they'll be looking around trying to figure out what they do next. So, um, though I think the red card for Mane was clearly an issue in that game, it became the reason why we kind of fell off that game. There was still, in my opinion, no excuse to lose 5-0. The Liverpool Football Club, their city, I get it, but there's no need for us to ever be losing 5-0 to anybody. So the fact that we kind of capitulated once that happened is unacceptable. Luca, what's up? Who will score in your opinion? I've been going back and forth with that with Onyx and the wife, and I've been going back and forth, man. But I'm gonna stick on 3-1. I was gonna go out with a shutout. I was gonna say a clean sheet. City's probably gonna score though, and I'm gonna say Mane. I'm gonna say Mane twice actually. Mane twice and Salah. During the week, I was saying Genie, and he's really good at home, and he scored against City before, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But Mane is due to have a really, really good 2018 for me, to kind of right the wrong of the last game that we played them with the foul and missing out. And I know that crushed him. They were saying they were even having trouble keeping him up, man. He was so devastated from that. But I got Mane with the brace, and then Salah coming in. So. And Salah as well, who I thought was still in those early stages with us and still trying to get his feet on the ground, and he was still missing chances and things of that nature. He had at least 2 or 3 chances in that first game, didn't capitalize on them, but it showed his promise. And you saw that, okay, if we can just get this guy to convert on a half a percentage of those chances, we'll be good. So I think both of those guys are going to have big games. I think everybody's going to play well. And the idea that 10 is not around anymore is, I think, more of an incentive for guys to really say, you know what, this is what we got. Let's continue fighting. That's one man. He didn't want to be here. He was desperate to leave. Because you can bring up Emery and say, well, he doesn't want to be here either. I don't know that that's necessarily true. I think there's a lot of different situations going around that that may kind of come off that he doesn't want to be there. But again, I go back to him playing the way he plays. To me, I don't see that he doesn't want to be there. You can say arguably Coutinho didn't either, playing so well in this half a season that he played with us. But there's something there for me with Emery that just shows a bit more dedication to the team. But that's me. I don't know. Kwame, what's up, man? You're right. Unfinished business with City. Fancy Liverpool win. Yeah, no question, man. Unfinished business. And just to prove that we're the second best team, if there's some, if there's any question of who is the best team after City, because right now it looks like City, not even just on points, just how they've been dominating teams. And some games they haven't dominated, but they found ways to win, whether it was a last-minute strike from yours truly, Sterling, whether it was, them grinding out a draw with City, Crystal Palace. Palace should have won that game, but they found ways to win. I think we've taken a page out of that with the last 3 games we've had, finding ways, ugly or not, most times ugly, but winning these games. And that's got to bode well for this team, and just their togetherness and the will within that squad to pull games out. So, for us, it's again, we got to beat the midfield situation. The defense has got to be tight. I think Virgil van Dijk is really going to help that. I'm concerned about the goalkeeper. To me, Carey should not be playing in this game. If nothing more than because he just watched the ball going against Everton. I'm not having that. I don't want him in the game. Mignolet. People talk about Ward. To me, he's a myth. I don't know how much people could actually have seen of Ward over the past couple of seasons to warn him to come in. Maybe you've seen something I haven't seen, but to me, it's Mignolet back in the sticks. And to me, that's what I want to go with. At the end of the day, these guys have got to get on board with Virgil, because he's going to be that leader kind of guy in the back, whether you like it or not. He's going to be calling people out. He's going to be telling you to go here, go there, and helping to just galvanize the back of that defense. So for me, it's got to be Mignolet and goal. And I got Gomez on the right. I was going back and forth between him and Trent. I think Trent offers that pace. I even thought maybe you could consider putting Trent in the midfield maybe in the second half and see how that goes. Or at some point in this season, I think Trent could be really, really good in the midfield. But I'm going Gomez. I'm going Virgil, of course. He's first name on the team behind Firmino, as far as I'm concerned. And then, Matip. And then Andy Bobby. Andy Bobby's been playing really, really good. He's going to be coming up against Sterling. It's going to be tough. The game against Everton, Balassi was tough in itself, but Sterling offers a different set of skill, pace, power, niftiness. He hasn't scored against us, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the one goal in that 3-1 that I predicted. So yeah, Andy Bobby on the left. For me, it's got to be a midfield of Henderson. I'm sorry, Henderson, Emery, Genie, and Ox for me. I don't know what Alana's look like. We've had 9 or so days of rest, so perhaps he's looking better. Klopp would have known that and seen him in training. But I think it's Ox, I think it's Emery, and I think it's Genie for this game. And then up top, the usual, the fabulous three: Firmino, Mane, and Salah. Hopefully Salah's fit and firing. I don't know if he'll play a full 90 minutes. Come back from injury, probably want to protect him as much as possible. But I'd hate to see that he didn't start. At the end of the day, I'm trusting what Klopp goes with, but I don't really see us starting a team different than what I've just said. But we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised necessarily if Milner's in there for leadership. He played against City. He played for City. I don't know, but I think that's got to be the lineup to get a result in this game. But yeah, I don't know if Klopp's going to decide to play a little more defensively in that game. We did that against them last season. One of those against the game at home. End up keeping that tight and getting a good result. So, yeah, I'm just looking for us to come out and continue in our winning ways. You know what I mean? They've got a streak, but we've got a streak too. 17 unbeaten. Don't forget that. Why not get 18? Why not get 18? Kwame, what's up, man? Thinking the same, but have Ox on the bench as impact players, so I play line. Yeah, I thought about that too, and I heard the Redman TV podcast that they're doing, which is really decent. For me, it works better to do that than have to watch the channel. But to hear him, it was good, and I think one of the guys, or at least maybe a couple of the guys, mentioned that because you do probably want to spark off the bench, right? And when you think about it, there's really no one else really that you can consider coming off the bench at this point. Maybe Solanke in the end, but yeah, I believe the Ox one is a good shout. Luca, I love the Redman TV too. Cool. So yeah, it's a big game, man. I can't wait. Sunday, it seemed like it's been forever to get here. It's almost felt like an international break with having so many games off, so many days off for the next game. But yeah, for me, this is a big statement game for Klopp too, and not like a as I said at Redman TV, not so much like a career statement, but just to see how he can make the decision, because you feel like that's Klopp's decision, right? Ultimately, to let Coutinho go, the guy was desperate to go, and to kind of allow him to pump his chest and say, look, I know what I'm doing with this team. I believe in these guys. We haven't brought a guy in yet. We will maybe, but I haven't brought a guy in because I believe in this team, and I want this team to know that just because we let Coutinho go, I'm not doubting you, and I'm not rushing to bring somebody in to say, oh, what I have isn't good enough. And maybe us fans think that. Maybe neutrals think that. Maybe commentators, whatever, think that. But it's not about that. It's about what Klopp thinks about these players and what they think about themselves collectively. That's what's going to bring us over and continue to allow us to fight on in this season. If the K2 news is right, that's amazing, especially for the cup games we got coming up. Of course, not Champions League, but then FA Cup in the league. But again, besides that, the guys we have enough to win this game. And it's time to put a marker down. It's time to put a marker down and let people know where we are in this league. And it's a good way to keep fighting and allow that goal. Because for me, second place has got to be the goal. It's way too late, it seems like, to get to win the league, of course. But second place needs to be that goal that we're reaching for to finish this season off. So this is our way to kind of get this new year, keep going in the right way. Kwame, yeah, you on point. And Klopp, we trust. Yeah, man. I mean, it's got to be that. It's got to be that. And people are going to still whine about this player leaving and how FSG could allow this to happen, and whatever the case may be, man. We got to keep on believing in this team, supporting this team, getting behind them, and staying as optimistic as we can. Hopefully we can jump on City early, but whatever the case may be, whatever the score is, let's always try to believe that Liverpool can fight through. They've shown it. Against teams in past seasons that we would have blundered those. We would have lost that game to Burnley or kept the draw. We would have lost that game to Leicester City or kept the draw. And remember, we had a lot of draws this season, but we only lost twice. And sometimes I don't really want to count the City game. I know it was a loss, but 11 against 10 is always going to put you behind the 8 ball. And like I said, we should never have lost that much to them. But to me, it's a Tottenham game, and in that we know what the situation was. So again, if I'm a Liverpool player, in that dressing room after losing the City, I'm circling the 15th of January, Sunday, knowing that we're going to come out and really fight to right that wrong. Because that was just ridiculous. That was disgusting how we ended up throwing that game away. 10 men or not, like I said, there's no reason to do that. And I'm gonna have some clips before the game tomorrow, just to kind of pinpoint some kind of moments in those games where we made mistakes. Situations where De Bruyne would, for instance, would center a ball in the box, and we're outnumbered. We're outnumbering them 3-2, and still they get a header and rise up. And a lot of that will be alleviated. Will be taken away because of Virgil being there. So I'm not really concerned with that. But that's the other thing. This might be a game where it's really tight, and we need a set piece to win it. So it's really great that we have Virgil in this team. And again, he's not going to pull up any roots, pull up any trees, and change the world. I said that, even though I felt like he did in one game, one appearance, being his debut. But he is going to slowly but surely, him alone, improve that back line. We saw it in Everton. We're only going to see it more. We had some days to rest, to get more familiar with the players. So that's even more dangerous for us. So again, I'm seeing a win. Like I said, 3-1. Brace from Mane, one for Salah. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you guys, speaking to you guys this weekend, Sunday before, halftime, and after the game. I'm going to log off now and see you guys real soon. Have a good one.